Erica. Hi.
Hi, Doug.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for sitting in the big chair. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for inviting me over.
All right. Oh, thank you for coming. This is Art and Gibberish, and we're gonna. What's going on? What's happening? Okay, let's just. What's on your easel right now? What's on your easel? What are you doing? What's going on? What's up there?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right. We have that sometimes. Sometimes there's nothing going on.
Actually, I have some things drying right now. But for a long while, everything had stopped.
Yeah, how was the... Okay, so it's like COVID-y stuff. Because we talked about this earlier, like when I went to your house ages ago, in the middle... I mean, I don't know how long this COVID-y stuff's been going on. It just seems like it's never going to... God damn.
2 years.
2, 3... I can't even tell. I'm like, oh, you know what? Last year Oh, no, wait, that was like 3 years ago. I don't know. Anyways, I was at your place, but we went to your place. We had a fire at your place, and you had said, I can't paint. COVID, I can't paint. And some people painted during COVID and rocked it, and some people couldn't do anything. What's going on now?
I spiraled onto my couch. Mentally, it was... it's very challenging for everybody, and you would think that with all that extra time to paint that you would, but there was a head game going on, and I thought at the very beginning that art was over, and it's not.
Definitely not.
Thankfully, I mean, it's doing great.
So not over.
But and in the day-to-day living with things that may happen, like a COVID scare in your family, or you've got your family around you all the time. I live in a little house. I have a cat flying over my head now when I paint.
New cats, new animals.
Yeah.
You're always
a little
zoo.
Kitten, but oh my God, she's so adorable. My teenage daughter, is there, and
that's just
there's
scary.
Demands there.
That's just scary alone. A teenage daughter's scary, but the other part that's scary is, I've known you forever. Your daughter's teenaged?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
It's incredible.
Count my life over.
She's fabulous.
I'm old. Like, how can your daughter be teenager? I just remember when she was born, she was so pudgy. Oh my God.
I know,
right? So cute.
I know.
I hope
so
she's
fast.
so cute. I haven't seen her in a while.
She keeps me young.
And keeps you old at the same time.
Yeah.
It is funny though, being in the art store and being talking to everybody, the whatever pandemic, whatever you want to call it, hit, and all of a sudden I have no classes. I had anything. I painted like crazy. I stepped up. I knocked it out of the park, man. I was just crazy with that stuff, and I thought, isn't everyone doing that? And then I talked to people who are like, no, I can't. Many artists were like, no, I can't. It was
frozen.
Like, and it was weird. I sort of started to fall into that trap where I'm like, well, maybe I should be like that. Maybe I shouldn't be painting. Like, what's going on? Like, and I kind of waffled back and forth, but many artists I thought that would have more time than ever to do it. It was just so crazy they couldn't do it. And I'll tell you, you know how it is, that the minute something hits you that's slightly negative, that sucks the creativity out of you right away. You know how creativity is. It just disappears before your eyes. If you got a sick parent, you got a sick child, you got a dog that's not good, gone. It's crazy how temperamental creativity is.
It takes a certain energy, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I found, and when I agreed to come and talk tonight, I had said I don't know what I could talk about except confusion with artwork, because given the situation, I found I was spending a lot of time in my head, staying home now. All of a sudden you were used to be coming home at 10 o'clock at night after teaching and interacting with other artists all the time and running from one thing to the next and constantly on the go, and then all of it stops suddenly, and then you're left with your own thoughts, right?
God,
so that
don't leave me with my thoughts. So true.
I think I was mired in that for a while, and it's only just recently that I've just started to come out of it and return to, my normal sunny self.
Oh,
But I'll tell you what did it. Painting.
what are you painting? What's
Yeah.
you said to me earlier before the podcast, you moved to the living room.
Yeah. I'm not painting in the studio right now because it's too cold and we don't have firewood chopped, and I have to light a fire if I want to paint out there. When it's
Your
minus
man's
40, I
not
wasn't.
chopping firewood and stoking the fire so you can
there's
paint every day. What's the deal there? You got to get on
He's a
that.
good guy. He used it all up on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, we forget.
I've been into Gary fire. It's all good. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can use a lot of wood with the
nice.
Gary fire.
So warm in there when it gets going like that. But I have moved into the house. I forgot how life-saving art is, how life-saving painting is, how good it is for my mental health.
Absolutely.
I forgot to do. This is the thing. I spent so much time thinking. I was thinking, well, what am I going to paint? I should paint. Then I'd guilt myself. I'm not painting. Then I'd panic and I'd be crippled with anxiety.
So true.
Oh, I got to paint all this, got to get this done. And then I couldn't paint because of the anxiety, and so much thinking. It actually helped to just sit down and do.
Oh,
Not think about it at all. Just pick up a brush and do whatever. Like, who cares where the painting's going? Don't think about where it's going. Don't think what it's about. Just get it started. And once that flow starts, everything's all right again.
It's getting in.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is to get in the studio. It's not the doing. It's not the painting. It's not. There's a lot of anxiety, but that whole. I just can't go in there. I don't know how to get in there. If I go in there, things will happen. But
So don't go there. Take a little sketchbook. Take a tiny canvas and paint sitting at a kitchen table. Somewhere where you normally wouldn't. Switch it up.
that's what I say is
Yeah.
is center. I talked about a lot about kitchen table painting. Going, you don't got another big studio. You don't do this grand thing and paint for the gallery or do your next epic painting. How about you just like? So I had a Randy Sexton. I don't know, but artist out of Northern California said to me one time, when you can't get your poop in a group, he's like, he said, you got to do this. You just got to center. And he goes, you got to just forget everything and go center. And I goes, what's that? And he said, paint an apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Put an apple. Put a piece of fruit up and paint it.
Piece of
Or
toast.
Paint
Fried egg.
something that's the easiest thing that you know how to paint. Paint monochromatically. Paint something easy that just kind of gets you back on track. Because he says we fly off in all directions, and man, you get going. You just gotta. You just gotta like center. You just gotta get back to the groove, and it can be very hard to do. Yeah.
Do and don't think. I did a lot of digital work for a while. Instead of going out on the canvas, I took my phone, and I have all kinds of apps on there, drawing apps.
And so
Painting apps.
so that's a good
So I could actually paint on there.
good little groove to go down. Where are you with the digital app? Like some guys are like, that's not art. That's not art.
It's totally art. I'm so happy that its day is starting. It's coming into widestream. It's a material. Paint is pigment and polymer, right? Paint on canvas. Digital art is you're still using your fingers and your brain. Same thing you use when you're paint on canvas, right? I think it's exciting all the different things you can do.
Oh, I'm 100% behind digital art. Things went from, I don't know, put a stick on a rock and draw a figure to wherever we've gotten today, and now we have digital art. And I'll tell you, you guys look up Mike Hernandez. I don't even know what his handle is for whatever, but he teaches digital art on Instagram. But Mike Hernandez,
does he? Yeah.
Oh my God, he's the most. And when I watch that and the way he plays that to painting and says, "Oh, painting's still viable.
Yeah.
Painting is still there, but this is 100% form of art." So I go back to, I have a book I don't even know what the name of it is, but it shows pictures of Renoir and Degas and Daniel Ridgway Knight and a whole bunch of these artists that the very split second a photograph became available, they started using photographs. And everybody said, art's over. Now you use photographs. You're not even painting anymore. It's not it. It's not it. If you paint from photographs, you're copying.
done,
It's
yeah.
stupid. It's blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Welcome to digital art. The stuff they're doing in digital art is amazing. And, I mean, I took your little class that you had ages ago on whatever.
Autodesk.
Autodesk.
Sketchbook, yeah.
I think it's Procreate now, but
Mike McGann got me on Autodesk.
I still use that all the time. Oh, shout out to the Mike McGann. I love
Mike
you,
McGann.
buddy. I love you. LBH, little brown horse. He has a little brown horse, isn't it?
Choco.
Choco, little brown horse.
Yeah.
He's
So
a god.
cute.
That guy's a god too.
Yeah, that's how he did his books on that program. And so
He
that's
did.
how I started. Except now I went to show some other people how the program works, and it's not available anymore.
Yeah. Well,
So
Welcome to digital.
Procreate probably knocked
Oh.
it out of the park.
hi, I have a program for you. 10 seconds later. Oh, hi, it's off. Now I have a new one.
Yeah, where I've changed it.
For us
Here's
older
the new
people, that
version, and
can
it
be
could never-
annoying. Like, God, I can't even keep up. Jeez. I just call my kids, hey, could you find that show on my TV? I don't know where it is. I thought I would be like really old where I couldn't figure it out. And I don't think I'm old, but I can't figure out my TV anymore.
Seriously?
Dude, how many platforms do you have? I'm like, I want to watch this show, but there's 97 platforms. I can't find it. Anyways, that's not where this goes. Digital art, I'm down. I'm down for digital art.
And you could use technology for paint on canvas painting as well. I take photos of a painting I'm working on. If I'm stuck at a certain spot, instead of trying it out on my actual canvas, I'll take a photo of where it's at. I'll bring it into the sketching program, and I'll paint on top of it in the program, so I can visualize how it will look when it's done. And then I can decide, I can make my decision at that point whether or not I wanted to continue in that direction, right? So they feed each other. They feed each other. And I know Megan, who took classes at Swinton's, she works every day. She's painting multiple paintings on. She's amazing at Procreate. She should be teaching a course on that. That would be great. I would take it, but because I don't know how to.
I don't know who Megan is. Why do I not know who Megan is? I probably know her.
She was
but
at night. You know Megan when you if you see her, you'd be.
I'd know her
Megan.
if I saw her. I guess I don't, but I don't.
Yeah, so she's working on it every day, and it whatever you're doing digitally, whether it's painting or playing around with the graphics or whatever, it can also inform your painting in new ways. So the stuff I've
absolutely.
been doing digitally is now informing that's how I got the background on that, the bear there.
Yes.
I started using camo backgrounds.
Can we see the bear? Is the bear there? Can we see the bear? All right.
So I have a whole entire suite of camo designs that are based on nature.
Fantastic.
And I tried them all out beforehand digitally, and then I'm like painting it on the canvas. So I'm excited to have a new thing. And it came to that by actually doing, whether from not sitting and thinking, I was actually just playing around on the drawing apps and all the all those different apps out there,
fantastic.
and that's
So I'll just tell a story, just because I'm there.
okay.
It's a double-fold story. Just,
What?
Just for the podcast. Your friend phones and says, "Oh, hey, you take classes with my mom." I'm like, "I do? Okay. Yeah, her name's like, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Oh, well,
no.
I live with,
This story.
I'm her daughter, and I live with Erica. Erica needs a job. She used to work at the golf course, but she needs to work in an art store, so I'm calling to get her a job." And I was like, okay, why doesn't Erica phone? Because she won't phone.
I was unaware.
And she was unaware. And I'm like, okay. She graduate of Ontario College of Art, amazing artist, amazing, but she won't come in. So I'm like, oh, graduate, really? Oh, okay.
That was Christine. Yeah, my roommate.
Lang
She's
or
a-
something.
yeah,
Christine
she's a
Lang.
wonderful
Yeah.
dude.
So, anyways, I don't know. All right, send her in. Erica comes in. I'm like, oh, hey.
You called me.
I called you and go, why don't you?
Or I called you.
No,
she
you
said I
called
was
me.
supposed to call you. Yeah,
No,
so
I called you.
Yeah.
I phoned you and said, why don't you call me and come in? What's the deal? And you go, oh my God. And he was, okay. So you came in and two things happened. You walked in and said, hi, I'm Erica and whatever. And I was like, oh, well, you're cool. All right. And then you said something about, oh, I worked at the golf course, but I painted, but I went to Ontario College of Art. And then you brought a wolf painting and you said to me, it's all chunky. How do I make it not chunky? And I'm like, this is a job interview.
I do not recall saying that at all.
You did. You brought in a painting and you said it had pumice in it. It had a whole bunch of stuff. And you were like, oh, I'm in a job interview, but you're like, but I paint these. But then you kind of said, well, here's what I paint just to show you. But it's really chunky and it's pumicey and I don't know how to do it. And if you could help me fix that, that'd be cool too. But I'm here for a job interview. And I was like,
there's no way I would bring a painting to a job. No, I disagree with your memory.
Well, whatever. At some point, you brought me this painting, and you crabbed to me about something, and I looked at you and said, well, because this is an acrylic painting.
That was later. That was after I'd been here for a few months already.
And then I told you need to paint in oil. So
it was on the phone prior to the interview. You'd said, no, I don't hire art school graduates.
I wouldn't hire because I had horrible experience hiring people from art college that knew nothing about anything. They couldn't do retail. They couldn't add. They couldn't do anything. And they didn't they just thought they knew everything about art. And you said to me, this is the greatest thing you said. Oh, I've been at an art college for 10 years. I'm all over that. I need to make money now. I get it. Art is art. I get it. And I was like, oh my God, that's a different scenario. And you took us to another level at some point with the newsletters and whatever you did sitting in the office. And then I hired you and then never you taught. But then I made you sit in the office and do newsletters and do other stuff which was not even art, which was terrible. I'm like, she's so good at this, and you took our store to another level. I'll tell you.
That newsletter now, when I see copies of it, it's so funny.
It totally is. It totally is. But you rocked it out of the park, man.
I didn't know what I was doing. I had never.
None of us did. Computers. But thank you for joining me on a journey of not knowing.
We made some great posters and some great.
Oh my God!
CD covers. That's what I was doing in the office for a job, making CD covers for Doug with graphics on them.
This is the thing. Oh, don't tell Donna.
Don't tell Donna.
Yeah. Okay. We're doing a newsletter. Oh, how can we make Chris look stupid? How can we make Noel look like an idiot? Oh, let's do a wanted poster of so and so. Oh my God, we had so much fun.
Yeah, it was good times.
That was absolutely. All right, so. What's going on? What do you like? What's next? Where are you going? Where are you headed? Tell me. What's in the gut?
I'm not thinking. I do.
Oh, that's hard. I love that.
How is it not teaching?
Wow. Yeah. How's it not teaching? How's it like not having? Teaching's good, but you know how teaching is. It takes a lot of your creativity out of you, giving all the time to those people. I love teaching, don't get me wrong, but boy, it takes from the other end for sure.
But you get back a lot as well from teaching.
100%.
For sure. I miss everybody. For the amount of years I was teaching, everyone was my friend. To be honest, I didn't want to tell you this, but like we were just hanging out. I mean, and painting together. Really.
I know. It's so true.
We'd talk about everything.
I'm like, this is why I have parties at my
awesome.
My students' houses. I'm like, well, what are we doing? What do we do? Let's go to your house. And I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be your teacher
it's
and
our
making money, but
yeah.
I'm like, I just want to hang out with you. You guys are so cool. I know.
It's our community. Everybody loves painting. We all had that in common. It's our people. Mm-hmm. That's how I've always felt about Swinton's. When I found you, I guess I didn't find you. Christine found you for me. But you were a hub of like-minded artists who were really focused on the technical aspects of painting, the traditional, fundamental aspects. And I didn't have a community like that in Calgary. I didn't take contemporary art in art college. I took
Dude, you
painting.
were a business administrator for a golf course.
No, I was assistant.
Business administrator for a golf course. Oh, that's even worse. You weren't even the head. You were no.
No, I was assistant in the office, and then I worked in an accounting firm at the front desk.
So here's the story. I'm just gonna throw a story.
Finding Swinton's was like finding the hub of artists who are all interested in those in painting.
Well, I think
Pure and simple.
I think we were destined to find each other because I don't know how, but you know that in my heart of hearts that I've always said. Anyone asks me, he goes, "Oh, do you have a definition of an artist? What's the definition of an artist?" I go, "Erica Neumann." That's the first thing I say. I've never seen you create more shit and do weird things and make like horns out of stuff and chairs out of things and whatever.
Sticks
like
onto
you
my
are,
paintings.
and then in the middle of I'm an artist. Oh, I should take an interior design course and learn that too.
Well, that was kind of an extension, right?
It's all the same, but I've never met anyone so. You're just the most creative person, and I forget where I was going with this, but I had a
Our
thing.
community.
Oh yeah, I remember. So I remember talking to you about I remember. So we had a theft at the store. A guy came in and stole some stuff, and then the cops came in, and you drew the dude. You're like, who, he had glasses?
Yeah.
And
Totally
you drew
I
this,
love
and you're
doing
like,
that.
this is exactly what the dude looked like. And then after we talked, and you're like, I took forensics in Ontario College of Art, and I wanted to be a forensic artist, and I wanted to be this and that, and I thought, oh my god.
I did want to be a forensic artist. I took anatomy at Ontario College of Art, and it was in conjunction.
You drew cadavers.
Yeah, with the University of Toronto, in their the medical sciences building, and we did have opportunity to work with cadavers and draw directly from and learn about it. It was super fascinating to me. The human body is just amazing how imperfect yet how perfect it is. And I did want to be a forensic illustrator. They had a program there at U of T for forensics, and I think only 20 people a year were accepted into it. And I would have to graduate art college first and then go into that program.
Yeah.
And at that time, computers were really becoming a big thing. And it was at the juncture between when computers might take over a job like that. So I had to consider, was it worth investing in that education when it might be obsolete in a few years?
Yeah.
It was really horrible. Really, really, it sucked.
Oh, but I remember you drawing this dude.
Yeah,
and it
it's
was
my
like
favorite.
Courtroom sketch, couple shady glasses, hair. I'm like, and you're like, well, I don't know about this, and then you show me this. I'm like, that's the dude. That's the dude. You drew the dude, and then the cops were there, and they, well, you know, the cops, they did nothing, but whatever. But that was, I always like, oh yeah, and then we talked about that, and we talked about how much you learned in school, and how much you loved it, and how much you
loved it.
And I tell you another instance. You want to hear the circumstances about being in your tiny little 300 square foot apartment with Jerry and I having beverages, and I'm walking around and Jerry's in the bathroom and I'm standing there, and I looked and I saw this diploma that said graduate of Ontario College of Art, and I was like, oh, that sucks. That's terrible. I hate you. I'm so proud of you, and I so hate you. I said, I never graduated. And you did. You did it. I was just like, looked at that and said, you're a goddess. You're so good. I have a picture of you still. I don't know. I'm fanboying, but I still have a picture of you out on that little precipice of rocks painting outside that I keep going.
Oh, in the river.
In the river that's so old, that's 20 years ago, and I have that because I look at that and go, that's the real shit, man. You were out there doing that, and I'm like, I'm taking a picture of you, and you're actually doing it. Anyways, I love you dearly.
I haven't painted in a while.
It's all right. Okay,
good
so
times.
what's happening next? Where are we going? What do you want? What if you could paint? If you could just find the time to do something. What is it? Big. What's going on?
Painting wise?
Yeah. What do you want? Do you have a grand thing you want?
Big paintings. I
Yeah.
want to do some really big paintings. But I'd like to get solid on the what's going to be on the big paintings. And I want to continue to work digitally and maybe look into what's happening there a bit, because there's some great opportunities happening right now, and I know some people aren't on board with what's happening digitally, but I'm going to continue to explore that aspect.
All right.
And
what's your favorite color? If you had to pick one color
or
a mix of colors, what's your favorite color to put on the canvas?
They all work together. That's
no favorite, eh?
I like them all. Like
I do too.
There's a handful I gravitate towards. Obviously, everybody has their own palette, but
what's your go-to color?
I'm really grooving on it.
She's looking at her painting. She's looking at her painting. She's like,
I've got this cobalt going, but periwinkle is up there for me.
Ooh, periwinkle. Yeah. We're gonna end on periwinkle because that's the end right there. Periwinkle, Erica, Neumann, periwinkle blue, and I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Thank you for coming. I appreciate this. This is great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for hanging out.
I just wanted as a last note for everybody: pick up the brush, pick up the pencil. Just do.
Do it.